Well, Iran is warning the United States there will be a regional conflict if it were to attack. Joining me live now is political analyst Joe Siracusa. Good morning. Thank you for your time. What's your take on the situation?
Good morning, Holly. Well, look, I think that's correct. I mean, the Iranians would respond by hitting out at America's allies in the region. That is, it's the Gulf state partners, Israel for certain, as a matter of fact. And of course, the Iranians have a little support here. That is, the Istanbul and the Turks do not want to see America get involved in this. And America has a big fleet there. It's going to cause a lot of trouble. The trouble is that Iran is the size of Texas. And, even if you have 400 Tomahawk cruise missiles nearby, it's not going to be enough. There's, to defeat people, you have to have foot soldiers there, and that's not going to happen. Trump has made it very clear that he will stand down as soon as the Iranians come into line on nuclear requirements. That is, get rid of the enrichment, get rid of their rockets, and they got plenty, thousands of them, as a matter of fact. And they want them to stop supplying their friends in the neighborhood, Hamas and Hezbollah and the rest of them. So, there are a lot of demands there. And I don't think, Holly, no one really knows what's going to happen next or what happens even if they decapitate the leadership of Iran. I mean, Iran has always been kind of an outlier here. I mean, I remember in '79 when we got rid of the one guy, we didn't know what was going to happen next. And now celebrating 47 years of the mullah rule, which is not doing the Iranian people any good.
Absolutely, to say the least. I mean, Sky News US analyst Michael Ware, he was on our show earlier this morning, Joe, and he was claiming that his sources have told him there are plans in place for a Maduro type of operation. Do you think that's likely? And then I guess that goes to the point where you're saying if you do take out the leader, will that then force regime change? But do you think that kind of Maduro type operation is likely?
No, I don't. I think we just probably kill as many people as we can. Bringing this guy back to a Manhattan district court where he has not been indicted for anything, the Ayatollah, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's nice to think that, but look, Venezuela and Iran are apples and oranges. I mean, you could knock over Venezuela. It's a house of cards, but Iran's a little stiffer than that. And I mean, the Israelis would have to be holding their breath here. I mean, they don't want to go this route, as a matter of fact. But the idea of comparing these things to what went earlier, I think, is a mistake because no one really knows what's going to happen next. The iron law of history, Ollie, is you don't know what's going to happen next. And so, and of course, America has no plans to go in, that is to provide troops there, and therefore it has no exit plan. So Donald Trump, of course, is just sort of fishing around for a formula here to get the Iranians to pay attention to him. The trouble is that it's pretty hard to get 92 million Iranians in a row because it's very hard to find out who's in control.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also as well, of course, there's been so much unrest there as well. But will that alone force regime change? Likely no. So there are a lot of questions. And as you said there, Joe, no one has a crystal ball here. I also want to talk to you a little bit about the nationwide unrest that we've seen in America and protests against ICE, even spilling into Milan, I saw as well, ahead of the Winter Olympics. Do you think we're likely to see a cooling of temperatures here in the US about this?
Not really. I mean, Donald Trump, what he had to say to get people to stand down a little bit. Look, those national protests, which was revived by the killing of Alex Predit and before that Renee Good, have caused the administration to look for some ways to explain themselves. Now, look, they were elected to close those borders, and Donald Trump has done a great job at that. The idea of sending these ICE teams into sanctuary cities, that is, cities that are predisposed towards the plight of the non-papered immigrants, et cetera. That's a different story altogether. Americans don't like what they're seeing. And Trump's problem here is not so much about the problem. The problem is how he's messaging it. There are a lot of people in the Republican Party, the MAGA types, who don't really know how to explain this. And of course, this is the other problem, is that the Republican Party is having a tough time figuring out what to say to their constituents, that is, the individuals. They don't want to talk about this. I mean, we all see what's going on. It doesn't look good. And, and to be fair to the ICE team, and I want to say this for balance here, to be fair to the ICE team in Minneapolis, the I'll credit the fellow who got killed. I mean, that's all tragic. But the fact that he had a gun on him after being involved in a protest 11 days earlier, I mean, it does not bode well. I mean, you don't take a gun to a protest because you're liable to use it.
Mm. Joe, we'll leave it there for today. Thank you as always for your time on Sky. Always great to chat with you.